What a fascinating conversation with Athena. Athene or Athene. She said, either you can call her either. I said, how do you want me to say your name? She said, you can call me Athena or Athene. It's up to you. So I don't know, I use both. Fascinating conversation. There's so many places we could have gone. Yeah, interesting, very interesting. She's got many more stories to share, I'm sure. But it's interesting that she's experienced in this life both the very dark and the very light and everything in between. She's really kind of run the gamut of experiences one can have as a physical human being connected to the light. Yes, wonderful. Interesting that Jesus came through. No surprise to me that he's coming through at this time of reconciliation. You know, what's going on our planet right now. It's interesting. There's some interesting Facebook posts about how the protests, even though they're protesting about the unfairness of the way the black community's been treated by the police institutions in America, there are so many people inciting more violence, like they're whipping it up, you know, they're kind of creating this divide. And it's sort of interesting. But with all of this, with all that's happening, it's not up to us as the difference makers, as the beings of light, as the light workers, as the light weavers, as the star nation, whatever you want to call yourself, really, it doesn't matter. As someone here that's here to uplift human consciousness, it's not up to us to get caught up in the story of right and wrong and who is doing what and why and who is right and who is wrong, because we can go down that tunnel and get sucked into it. Like it's like this magnetic force that draws you into it, and then you're in outrage, and then you're in anger, and then you're in the lower, denser emotions. And look, as human beings, we have the choice. We can be in the lower, denser emotions and swim around in the density of anger and resentment and outrage and upset. We're given that choice. But as beings here to make a difference, now my nose is running, it is for us to be able to witness it and stay connected to the lighter, subtler dimensions or vibrations or thoughts of seeing the perfection. Like Athena and my guides were saying this in our group on Monday. We were talking about this. I had a plan to get people pairing up and talk to each other's guides, but that didn't happen because the conversation got all swept up in what's happening in the world at the moment about the riots. And, you know, the guidance that was coming through is that in order for new systems to come into place, in order for the new world to come into place, old systems have to crumble. And they gave me the analogy, which I thought was very clever, because I love renovation shows, all those renovation shows that fixer-upper shows that take old houses and renovate them. There's something about taking something that's crumbling and old and making it new again that really lights me up, turns me on, right? I just love renovation shows. But with every renovation show, there is always destruction before the new house can be built. Even if you're just renovating a room, there is like a kitchen. You've got to take out the old kitchen. You've got to smash it up, right, before you put in the new kitchen. So they gave me this analogy on Monday that, when new systems are coming into place, the destruction of old systems have to happen. And we're seeing a lot of destruction on our planet right now. Well, not a lot, but we're seeing a bit. The mainstream media will have you believe that that's all that's happening on our planet is people rioting and destroying. Sorry, I just had breakfast in between talking to Athena and coming back. Breakfast, lunch, it's lunchtime now. Yeah, so they'd have you believe that this is all that's going on in the world because that's all they want to report. They want to report how many people are dying of COVID, and they want to talk about how the violence. That's all they want to talk about. But, nonetheless, it is happening. So we're seeing destruction. So in order for new systems to come in place, old systems have to crumble. And as I've said before, the light uses the dark for its own agenda, because there is only one energy, a source of pure positive energy that creates all of it. So love creates hate and fear as much as it creates love and light. You know, it all comes from the one source. It all comes from the one place. And when you can see that, when you can look upon something that looks destructive and hideous and horrible, and you can see the divine within it, you can see past the destruction of the now and see how that destruction is going to rebuild a new future. When you can, like Paul said, like all the guides through Paul said, I just, you know, this is the work I do. When you can look upon something and see the divine in it, your knowing transforms it. Your knowing. So never, ever forget how powerful your thoughts are. Your thoughts manifest instantly in an etherical vibrational reality. Athena called it etheric. In a vibrational or subtler reality, your thoughts manifest instantly. In order to bring that thought into a physical reality, there is a buffer of time. So it doesn't look like it. We don't give importance to our thoughts. So we just, you know, we just fly around. We get angry with that. We get happy with that. Angry, happy, you know, we just let our thoughts go. Like we don't focus and direct and be deliberate with how we flow our energy as humans. And this is, my guides tell me that this is the most important thing humanity is learning right now, is how to direct your energy, how to direct your thoughts, instead of letting circumstances sort of, you know, knock you all around the place. Upset about that, outraged about that, pissed off about that, you know, oh, this is terrible. And what I find in my work and with my even with my daughter, it's like humans think, I have a right to be upset about this. Don't take that away from me. I'm pissed off with what's happening and you can't make me feel better about it. I have a right to be pissed off. This is unfair. I don't like what I'm looking at. And so trying to convince someone to see it in a different light, sometimes you get huge amounts of pushback. I know my daughter does this when she's upset. It's like, don't try and take my upset away from me. I'm upset and I'm going to be upset. And you have that right to be upset. But if you want to make a difference in this world, if you want to be a difference maker, you have to understand that your upset is indication of how you're flowing energy. And how we flow energy is how we create this world. So if you can find a way to look at something and see the perfection or see the divinity in it, or look at it like, if I'm going to renovate the house, I have to take down the old house. You know, find a way to see the light. Then you become a powerful, deliberate creator. You become a genius creator, in fact, when you can learn to direct and flow your energy in a way that feels good, no matter what you experience or what you look at, what you see on the mainstream media or on the internet. If you can see the perfection or see the divinity, then you are a powerful, powerful force and source of transformation in this world. And that's what you can do to help right now. See how the people that are upset and angry, they're, as Esther would say, launching rockets of desires, are shooting out of them. I don't want this, I want that. I don't want this unfairness, I want more fairness. I don't want this unkindness, I want more kindness. So if you can answer their prayers by focusing on what they want instead of they're asking for it. At the moment, we're seeing a lot of people asking. It's the first step of manifestation. Ask, orchestrate, receive. So if you can focus on what they're asking for, so they're asking for more unity, more fairness, more unity. What we're asking for, people are screaming at us, so they're asking for more unity amongst humanity, that we stop judging each other by the color of our skin or our sexual orientation or our choices or our ideas. You know, I'm someone that's been very vilified and judged because of my ideas, because I'm being considered woo-woo by my school friends. They've said to me, we don't believe in all that bullshit you believe in. You know, and we can be judged for anything, for what we look like, for what we believe, for what we do. If we could stop judging each other and start loving each other and loving the diversity and letting, we have the right to think and believe and be any way we want to. Like God gives us that freedom, that free will and loves us regardless of who we are and what we do. If we could don that perspective of unconditional love, that is the Christ consciousness. That is living heaven on earth. That is seeing life through the eyes of Source. Then you are a powerful, 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 powerful influence in this world. Believe you, your thoughts matter. The way you flow your energy and how you think, it matters. It really, really matters. So I know the people that watch my show know this. It's just a little reminder from home, really. I don't get too much pushback, but there's a few people that are really upset and angry, and they want to tell you why, and they want to give you reasons and justify their anger and their upset. And you can do that, but learn to focus in a way that feels good, and then you will help this world shift and change. That's what Source is asking us, all of us, everyone, without exception. Some will manage it and some will not. And those that do manage it, they'll move on to a different experience, a new experience, a higher experience, a better experience. And those that don't manage it, they'll stay in a denser third dimensional experience, either here or on another planet. They'll stay until they get it. And, we have eternity to get it. Anyway, thanks for watching and listening. And I love you all. And remember to buy the book Awakened by Death. There's just no better examples of how people found their connection to Source inside horrific circumstances in that book. Some of the stories in that book are outrageously traumatic, and yet, Dave Byron, one of my favourites, the Australian guy who I interview here in my home, in Bali, his 13-year-old daughter gets killed by the Bali explosions back in 2002, I think it was, 2000. And he goes, he searches through the rubble of all the dead bodies after the explosion looking for his 14-year-old daughter. Horrific, some of the things he saw. And I hope that, he told me that after years of grieving and hating God for taking away the person that he loved the most, he just said, I couldn't feel like that anymore, and I had to make a choice. I had to start thinking differently, and that's exactly what he did. And now he's such a joyous being, such a light in this world. He helps people. He used to have trouble with alcohol when he was young, and he works inside AA, helping people overcome their stressful thoughts and negative thinking and their addictions. And beautiful, beautiful man. But he like Athena, saw the depths of despair in order to find the light. And sometimes for humans, that's what it's going to take until you've had enough, and then you ask for the light. Yeah. So it's a great read, and I have Belinda Womack. I think for people that have watched the shows, coming up in the Inner Sanctum this weekend. So it's an angel week for me, more archangels. The angels are with us, guiding us all the way, and they're loving you and loving everyone around you. Remember, they're there, and remember to ask if you need their guidance or their teaching or their help. Big love, and bye for now.